Welcome back to Broad's League Heroes. Let me introduce you to our esteemed players. In the top left, we have, with a whole help in a case, it is stikkykiddy, the Proxies player. And with 2 SCVs already out on the map. stikkykiddy with a sick chrono boost there, really just making sure it works. And Iron Lawyer. You've heard of Iron Man. You've heard of Iron Maiden. But who covers all their very legal bills for very different reasons? Iron Lawyer. Let's now here's the thing. What happens in all those Marvel movies, like every single time the Avengers going around, cities are being obliterated. Like at least dozens, if not hundreds or more civilians and innocent bystanders slaughtered. Like, where's the fallout from that? It's like, well, we have Batman to save Gotham, but also because we have Batman, we have these supervillains showing up every few months or so, it seems, or every year or two. It's like, this kind of seems like more trouble than it's worth. Not my place. Not my place. I don't know. I didn't watch all the movies. Is that the one where it's like we're pretending to have a moral compass? Well, my compass points to cheese. As 2 barracks are already done. He's going to bunker inside of the wall. The Zealot. This is a wall. Also an important... Wait. That Zealot had to do a little bit of buttering up there in order to make sure it could get to the bunker. Meanwhile, the Marines are focused on the pylon. Another SCV is on the way. There's a pylon block at the other side of the map, which is an impressive move because Terran buildings can fly. The Zealot going to work. Bunkers coming up. Zealot slaughtering Marines. Very tough for them to kill early on. Another bunker on the way. The optimism was there, but the execution, not so much. The Zealot takes a bruising. There is a hard wall at the top of the ramp, but a softer one on the other side of the map that's making it very difficult for Iron Lord to break through. So, where does this leave us? A solid cheese defense here from stikkykiddy. The Marines not getting nearly as much as they want to get done. A Stalker pops out. It will let the Zealots go about their business. In fact, another Zealot will split off because the new Zealot has to level up its XP in order to make... Well, caught between a bit of a rock and a hard place are those Marines. And I wonder where they came from, says stikkykiddy. Oh, by the way, Iron Lawyer has decided, well, if the first 2 racks proxy doesn't work, how about another 2 racks proxy, except slower and worse? And, objection, Mr. Lawyer. What if we didn't? But he's never considered that, and he never will. The Zealots will angrily look at the barracks as the Stalker takes pot shots at it. Hard to miss, though. Yeah, don't you even think about coming back to these parts, barracks. We don't like your kind around here. And that's how Zealots talk. With their mouths that they have. Psionically. Twilight Council is on the way. The first order of business will be discussing as to whether or not that accent was offensive. Almost as offensive as this proxy. But more Marines are on the way. A factory will also be proxied. He's not really slowing down on this. There is an engineering bay because everybody, like, you need an engineering bay. stikkykiddy, he has plenty of units. He has no idea this is happening. As long as Iron Lawyer doesn't give it away too early, there's a chance. Oh, and the other barracks. They're coming back. They're coming back. Where are they going? What? Wow. This is very ambitious. And one into the main. Well, we're going to try a lot of things and see what sticks to stikkykiddy. Really should say the full name. Like, how am I going to pronounce... Like, what am I going to shorten it to? Sticky? Probably better than pronouncing it to kitty. Or shortening it to kitty. It's already bad. Either way, discussing it is already... It's all terrible. Meanwhile, there's a barracks in the main slightly out of vision range. More stalkers. Gunning down a barracks. He'll never expect 2 more barracks, a factory, and a barracks in his main. I mean, who would? Really though, who would? I'd be suspicious of anyone who did suspect this. I would want to check their files for map hacks, because he builds a marine and he's like, go get him. He's had a lifelong grudge against pylons, but his life will not be very long. Unfortunately, the stalker... Wait, is this wall too thin for stalkers? The stalker diet upgrade hasn't yet come through, despite Blizzard adding 2 more upgrades to the Twilight Council. The stalker, like, the Stalker S hasn't come out yet. The Stalker 2S will be 30% slimmer and be able to fit through the same walls as Zealots, and it will only cost 3 times as much out of a gateway. He's very close to taking all the shields off that pylon. The pylon at the front. Well, Iron Lawyer has succeeded in destroying a pylon because stikkykiddy did have to destroy his own pylon in order to escape from his base. A second tank will siege up. There are 2 bunkers on the high ground. The bunker's doing a pretty good job. The tank taking some shots. The Immortal will go down. He's going to try to target fire the second tank. 1 SCV of repair. It's not it. The stalkers aren't enough. He's gonna hold. I mean, the tanks attacked, and therefore the blood pact was sealed. There is no option. Once the tanks attack you in such an aggressive manner, what are you going to disrespect your units by not having them all just attack up a ramp into siege tanks? Do not be foolish. Oh, the pylon's being slaughtered. What the first Marine started, these Marines will finish. Down it goes. No upgrades. Cyber core vulnerable. This attack, it took 7 minutes to get to this point. It took 4 proxy barracks, a factory, and multiple tanks. But the long-form proxy Rex proxy build. I mean, who proxies a tank, right? Ridiculous. But the long-form proxy build is successful. And he will take out the wall. He'll take out all of the units. The Nexus is next. All these valuable buildings and some probes as well. Iron Lawyer, 18 SCVs, a planetary with a turret in his main, crossing his T's, dotting his I's, and raising his TPM. So, it's not over yet. Some cannons will be built until the Forge dies, in which case that's not happening. There is no high ground vision. He has yet to discover a starport. The Wings of Liberty style bunker rush will continue. The Marines want to come up the ramp. In fact, looks like they'll get a cannon. Or not. Could go either way. The Cyber Core built in a vulnerable position, but the tanks are approaching. Iron Lawyer throwing the book, the barracks, and every single unit he has at him. Oh, the tanks. Everybody knows siege tanks are only allowed to attack while siege. Unfortunately, high ground vision is now gone, but stikkykiddy might not realize. Oh, he does. Oh, wait, that Immortal is in range of how many of the tanks? There is no scan, by the way, because he decided to build a planetary. Oh, he can hit another one! Oh, no! Iron Lawyer, his entire attack coming apart. He's going to be forced to pull back. There's almost no more units. 2 Immortals eat 2 tanks for breakfast and ass for seconds. Down it goes. That replay bug is super annoying, Blizzard. The barracks will provide high ground vision of the units that just killed all of his tanks. Well, not all of them. There's still one. He hasn't salvaged his bunkers, but he maybe still will be able to salvage this game. The high ground. Nope, nope, tank! Run away! Oh my. Oh, it's gonna run. They're on the chase. He will hold. The duel continues. Neither player with a second base. The minerals are starting to run out, which means it's a perfect time for 2 more pylons and 2 stargates. The patches are running dry. On the bright side, Iron Lawyer did not invest in an orbital command, which means he won't mine out as fast, but also he won't be able to float to a second base. Down goes the bunker. 3 tanks, though. An immortal. All roads lead to Void Rays. We've been down here before. Void Rays are the quintessential Bronze League. They shoot up, they shoot down, they fly. How are they not the best unit in the game? Nobody knows. They named an entire expansion after the Void Ray. They didn't call it Legacy of the Void because of stalkers. So, 4 tanks. Back up. And once again, as you know, they cannot attack while unsieged. It is illegal, and he is a lawyer of iron. The barracks, providing high ground vision, taps on the immortals. They trigger their panic barriers automatically. It's a reflex. But a Void Ray is coming. Are there enough Marines to kill the Void Ray? He's target firing a tank. The Void Ray is going for the barracks, which is not the Marines. The Marines are not going for the Void Ray. The Immortals are dead, but so are all the Marines. 1 tank, as you get 1 warning, but then you must siege the tank. It is known. The probes. A citizen's arrest. He's gonna build turrets. The battle continues. The main is cleared. The worker counts are even. The supplies dangerously close as well. The barracks will eventually be burned down by the prismatic beam of that Void Ray. But the forward turrets, the TPM must raise. The turrets will protect the tanks as they continue their push. Neither player has given a single thought to expanding outside of the main, and the only possible counter is 3 starports from Iron Lawyer. He's got to escalate things. 1 Stargate did go down, but will be mercifully replaced by a Stikkykiddy. Oh, the turrets are on the way. Void Ray Immortal. We're going full mech on both sides. Turrets and tanks are the counter option. 1 turret. There's no more SCVs. There's no more boys. Stikkykiddy may have broken this push, but the game is far from over, because even though he takes right, okay, back at home, 3 Vikings. And I mean, what don't you love about Vikings? They shoot up, they land, they shoot down. What other units do you need? Why are they not the best unit in the game? The factory has retreated. Is there enough to... Stikkykiddy does not have enough to expand. How many more minerals are left here? 300, 180, 35. There's not much more than a Nexus worth of minerals still in these patches. There's a little bit more left back at home for Iron Lawyer because he kept sending SCVs out to build buildings. 3 Void Rays. Now, what is the Viking micro like? Does he have the smooth micro of a Maru or an Innovation? Or does he have the less smooth micro of a me? Stikkykiddy. Immortals, Void Rays, Stalkers, the Void Rays, the operative component here. 6 Vikings, though. More than enough. Down goes a Void Ray. And the Stalker, now the question is, when will they land? The Vikings they wipe out all the Void Rays and thus the entire threat. Vikings, amusingly fragile on the ground. they a while ago received a buff versus mechanical in their ground form, in their vain badass form, as we've seen in the Heart of the Swarm trailer. While Ultralisk not mechanical units, you know what are? Probes, Immortals, Stalkers, technically Sentries, Colossi, though you shouldn't land against them. So, on the ground with enough Vikings, you can actually... One Viking beats a Stalker 1v1 on the ground. And not an Immortal. Does not beat an Immortal. But it's a numbers game. When it comes down... Oh, and Liberation is at hand. Liberator's just going for air control. Iron Lawyer, he might not have ever expanded his purview in the past, but he definitely knows his one base options. And he's got to be, well, are there enough minerals? 465, 180, 545, about 1,000 minerals left, give or take a bit. stikkykiddy is now fully mining from his secondary base, and he's transferred essentially every probe. But Iron Lawyer has one less to tech. He's got 2 Liberators. He's got 9 Vikings? 10 Vikings, but a couple are at home. The Liberators may siege up the mineral line, but there's very little left to hit. He could potentially siege the ramp. He's okay. He's working it out. All right, 1 Liberator sieges. The Vikings moving. Oh, they hit the deck. They're going to work. He's gonna get that pylon. It was tagged by the Marines earlier. Oh, and they'll fight the Vikings. He'll jump back up into the air. Unfortunately, this is possibly the most awkward angle. Oh, the Vikings. They have a very, they're a group creature. Either they're all flying or they're all landed, but never both. Because they're very social creatures, and they hunt in packs. Liberator looking for an opportunity. So, not a total success there from Iron Lawyer, and by that I mean, he did lose many of his units. That is possibly the only place he could siege up with the Liberator that wouldn't actually do any. But he will bait the units into his other units, thus showing him that he has no fear, which is very important to maintain confidence in a game like this. Double Forge, stikkykiddy going straight up into that massive macro build, which he has earned, and already has another base. Iron Lawyer, what's the plan? He's gonna long distance mine. He is running out of options. He's... Stop, guys. Oh my. They keep adjusting their position. That's it. His last Viking raid. He's essentially out of minerals at this point. There's one more Viking in production. And I don't know if the Vikings are going to be enough on the ground now. It really... Every time you could talk about the engagement angles. You could say, well, it seems they're obtuse, but I wasn't talking about the players. The probes will be slaughtered by the Vikings if he doesn't react. stikkykiddy, he's not paying attention. The probes, they're gone! Just like that, they're already gone. He gets in, the raid entirely successful. He's killed 29 probes thus far. That has triggered stikkykiddy onto the attack. Iron Lawyer is now long distance mining, so it's unclear what's going to happen. The Vikings will hit the deck. The boys need to be a part of this. The Immortals just blasting through. It seems the inevitable conclude. Oh wait, the high ground vision. Wait, he has Blink? GG, that's it. He eventually, on his first attack across the map, attains total victory. No twists, no turns, just concession from Iron Lawyer. Despite the vigorous and robust attack that Iron Lawyer was able to put on, stikkykiddy adapted. He held on. It was tenuous at best, but eventually the Void Rays and the Immortals and the spirit of Protoss was enough. And Iron Lawyer just didn't have the ability to go the distance. Are you a committed proxy player? Do you need help? Well, hit that like button. Subscribe. Find some help in the comments, because I'm sure there will be plenty of people saying, why didn't he do this? Why didn't he do that? Do that. And everybody knows YouTube comments and or Twitch chat are the best place to find advice on your builds. So make sure to check that out today. And I've seen a few comments lately about, well, you keep making fun of these players who don't seem to know builds or some such. Well, let me actually make some recommendations. SpawningTool.com, Terrancraft, I'll remember SC2 Swarm, and then for Protoss, Printf Stream, if you'd like some builds, or on this channel. But thank you for watching. Thank you to Lucas Mucus, who judged through this replay pack and took and said this was worth a look. And I think this intimate exchange was definitely worthy of Bronze League Heroes.